Hi and good evening, good morning, wherever you are on the planet. We have another session of Live with Hype, and oh, I hear it also on my Instagram, which is nice. Which the live is working. Uh, we are going to have quite a special session today. It's not another big sport brand. Totally sports brand. It's also not a shining startup on its way to become a unicorn in the sport space. We are honored to have Xavi here today from Gatorade, which is, we all know, part of PepsiCo. But maybe Xavi, you can explain a little bit what is the orientation and the context for sports. And we're really about to hear a little bit more about your strategy in terms of innovation. What are you looking for? And again, from your unique positioning, how do you see the post-COVID era with regards to innovation and the impact on sports and what you do?
Yeah, thanks Amir for hosting me. Huge fan of Hype, so it's a privilege to be with you and the team today. In Gatorade, we are about athletes and about fueling athletes and make athletes better in the field. And if in the past this was only about hydration, and then later on we expand into sports nutrition, now we know that in order to make athletes better, we need to play with technology as well. So that's the reason we are here. So I've been in the brand for the last 9 years in different roles, and the last 5 years leading innovation, and now combining innovation with what we call emerging brands. So trying to expand into newer spaces and with the idea to serve better the athletes. So our mission has not changed. It's just that now, if you want to feel better and feel better, first of all, you need to be smarter on kind of what your body needs. So that's the reason that we are tapping into sports technology.
Great. Now, can you explain a little bit about Gatorade's focus in terms of focus verticals, just people understand, and also the relationship to PepsiCo?
Yeah, I will start with the second part of the question. So Gatorade was acquired by PepsiCo a few years ago. So we are one more brand within the PepsiCo portfolio, one of the biggest brands together with Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Lay's, etc. And basically, as part of the Gatorade is part of what we call the sports and fitness business unit. So we have kind of a range of sports and fitness brands. The main ones are Gatorade, Muscle Milk, and Propel. And basically where we focus our efforts is everything that it's around athletes and fitness. Within Gatorade specifically, I will say that probably the best way to summarize what we are doing, we have one vertical that it's around hydration, and this is kind of the sports drinks and the different sub-brands and products that we have there. We have another vertical that it's around sports fuel or sports nutrition. This could be our protein powders, our bars, different products that, basically designed to fit athletes, but kind of they are not in a liquid form. And then the third one is, you could call it emerging brands if you want. And within emerging brands, we have Gatorade Endurance, specifically designed for endurance athletes. We have Gatorade GX, specifically designed for personalization. We have kind of a few tech platforms here and there. This is the part of the portfolio where I focus most of my efforts. But everything that we do at the end is around athletes, and then within athletes, it's about the sports nutrition.
Got it. And can you share a little bit about the strategy in terms of, it's about, if you look at the cycle, you're involved from the, invention side, the business, the development side, the R&D side, until the end user and the customer experience, or in which part are you taking full accountability, if I may ask?
Yeah, I think let me add one more comment on my prior answer. I think will help the audience to understand a little bit kind of what's our focus and what we are looking for. So if you think about Gatorade, born 50 years ago, 1965, with University of Florida, the Gators, it was about the sports hydration, right? So athletes were getting dehydrated on the field, water was not enough, and then we come up with this super drink. But more specifically, one athlete program, dehydration, one solution, a sports drink. Over the last 10 years, more or less, we decided strategically to expand into sports nutrition. So we want to feed and fuel athletes 24/7. Therefore, we need to expand our range of solutions. And then over the last, let's say, 4 or 5 years, we have expanded into this idea that filling athletes should be not only about the products, it should be also about the services, right? Make these athletes smarter about their choices, about kind of their body, how much they are sweating, how much they are training, and then we want to inform them and help them to become to be better. What's super interesting in this journey and connecting to your last question is that when you are designing sports drinks or you are designing kind of sports nutrition products, bars, protein powders, etc., most of this knowledge we have it inside, right? So we have kind of a huge R&D organization with packaging engineers, with food scientists, with sports scientists, etc. We have most of this expertise in house, and we could do it in house. When you start expanding into the intelligence and kind of the smart things, is where you need to start kind of looking for partners outside in an open innovation model that could bring these capabilities that honestly we don't have in-house. We know athletes very well, we know sports fuels very well, but we are not good at digital platforms, we are not good at wearables, we are not good at artificial intelligence. This is the part that then we look for the best partners outside who could help us on solving our specific problems, and then we try to bring them in, mix them with our internal team, and come up with products or solutions that could help athletes. So that's the approach that we are taking on this combination of internal resources and open innovation.
Got it. So you have the I would say the humbleness to say, okay, we do have tons of experts internally, but we appreciate that some of the greatest, brightest ideas will come from great people out there sitting in a small garage, wherever it is in the world, and can come up with the most amazing innovation, which we can then implement and share with the world.
Absolutely. And I think that we also try to bring the athlete's point of view, right? So, and you know that very well, that there is a lot of technology out there that it's very interesting or could be very interesting, but it's not easy to use by the athlete. It's not useful for the coach. Maybe we are capturing data that then this data means nothing. We try to bring this athlete-centric point of view into all the innovation that we make. We always use the example that in the case of the origins of Gatorade, this sports drink, at the end, yes, it was a combination of electrolytes and sugar and all the stuff. But at the end, what the athletes cared about is that they were not getting cramps kind of at the fourth quarter of the game. That's what really matters. So we try on all our innovation to add this point of athlete-centric innovation, and that when we share our concepts, our ideas with athletes, if we believe that they will not be able to use it, to understand it, if they don't feel excited about this innovation, probably it's not the right idea for us. So we try, based on all our experience, our sports marketing team, kind of years of working on the field, in the locker rooms, etc., to try to bring this athlete-centric innovation on everything that we do.
Got it. So, Xavi, you bring like the, I would say, the aspect of the fit. How, it could be a great idea, but the question is, does it really fit and serve the athletes? And what is the feedback of athletes to really make it work? And so then it could be a real product in the market. Now, we are now talking about a vaccine. I'm in Tel Aviv, so we are starting. I think next week we are starting to get the vaccines. for first I think elderly, and I see this in other countries as well. I First of all, how did this last, I would say, year affected Gatorade? And also, if you can give us a little bit whether it changed your strategy overall when you look at the future now. Are you looking at more, I don't know, like online, e-commerce is getting a boost? Is there any new platforms you're now looking at because of that? What was the impact of COVID on your activity?
Yes, good question and kind of multiple answers on this one, right? So with many other companies, it has been a roller coaster. We, especially in the US, Gatorade it's kind of a staple product, right? So kind of when people feel that they will run out of product, they go to their favorite brands, and we had kind of get benefit on that, and we have had a super hard time kind of to keep up our supply chain to fulfill all demand for our product. Implication number two has been kind of the craziness of the sports marketing calendar, right? So all the races cancel, all the games cancel, teams that we didn't know if they were going back to training or not. So our sports marketing team have had a super hard time just to adapt to all these changes on the sports calendar and be on top of it, and to ensure that whenever athletes were going back to the locker rooms, they will have our products. The third part is, and you mentioned it, right, is kind of we have seen a huge acceleration on at-home fitness, and we believe that this is a trend that it's here to stay, and a huge acceleration of e-commerce, right? Kind of people are kind of buying more and more products online. I think that the way I see that is this is kind of basically an acceleration of something that was already happening. And for us, that has kind of boosted some of our plans that we have in terms of Gatorade direct to consumer. So we are now in the process of accelerating our plans, specifically in the US, to offer more products online directly to our athletes, and to provide new digital products to make these athletes better. Because we believe that many of these athletes or will be training by themselves or will look for solutions. And when I say solutions, could be from digital apps to access to products, to access to sports intelligence, etc. A little bit by themselves. It's kind of maybe they will not be all the time with their coaches, etc. And we believe that we could be a good complement to this coach, to this trainer, to this strength coach that it's day in, day out with the athlete. We want to be one more resource for these athletes to get knowledge, to be smarter about their body, to be smarter about their nutrition, to be smarter about their performance. So I will say that the COVID has helped us to figure out that this was the feature of the brand and accelerate our strategic positioning around digital solutions for athletes.
Got it. So more e-commerce, more B2C, home training activities. When we look at innovation and we talk to our partners, clubs, federations, brands, there is a feeling that COVID pushed everything forward dramatically, specifically processes around innovation, digitalization, the lead, I would say, journey, automation, everything now. People are more, accepting more digitalization in the organization. So we might as well use that to make our processes, our CRM better, and especially the e-commerce part, as you said. Now, does this has an impact on your, I would say, innovation strategy? Now, when you're now playing 2022, 2023, 4, are you saying, guys, we need now to shift more resources, we're looking for more platform, more technologies in this realm, or basically it was already the case?
I think it was already the case, but I think that we will go faster. That's a little bit of our aspiration. In our case, what is very interesting is that basically we are setting up what I will call the Gatorade of the future, kind of new digital capabilities side by side with our current core business, right? So we are not a new startup, a new venture. We have a very established business with a very established portfolio, very established distribution, go-to-market, etc. We don't want to change that. That works very well. We are serving our athletes well. We are serving our customers well. What we want is to establish these new capabilities to prepare Gatorade for the future. That's a little bit what we are doing. And we believe that on that we could go faster on this go-to-market. I think another interesting implication of COVID and kind of with mostly everyone working from home is that on this new Zoom Live, open innovation is easier because at the end, kind of your team you could have access to them via Zoom call, but you could have access to an Israeli startup based in Tel Aviv also with a Zoom call, right? So almost it's kind of a playing field. And I think specifically
would you invest in a startup just by meeting them on Zoom?
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, we have done that. So absolutely. And I think on open innovation, to have access to a broader network and then be able to bring this network all together, I think that's that works very well. One of the projects that we are developing right now is a smart app for our bottles that tracks real-time hydration and able to provide this hydration information back to athletes. And we are collaborating with an Israeli startup on that. So I
know which one.
Yeah, and we have established the partnership, the development, the concept, everything. We have done everything virtually because obviously kind of no one can travel, right?
Amazing. And we thought that this is impossible a year ago, and you see, I think that's great. I used to travel like for a board meeting three, 4 times a year, just for a couple of hours of meeting. I think this is not going to happen again. So a lot of things I believe, will change for the good. There was a question here by a guy called Thomas, which were asking you, Xavi, if you can share some example of implementing the open innovation strategy and like giving an example of a sport tech startup, and you just gave one of them from Tel Aviv, but maybe you can share, 1 or 2 examples of technologies and startup you saw that got your attention.
Yeah, I can share another one. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Sure. I'll open my air condition while you're doing that.
Wait a minute. I don't know. Okay. Let's see if this works.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm doing something wrong.
Below, you see in the small square.
You are seeing my screen?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's see. If it doesn't work, let's see. Application retire screen. Trying to share one PowerPoint, but okay. It doesn't work. Doesn't matter. I could talk about that. Yeah. So one example, and I think it's a good one on kind of why we use open innovation and kind of the idea that we don't take or explore all technologies. We look for technologies that help us to solve specific problems that we have, right? So one of the strategic bets that we made as a company is this idea that we wanted to develop personalized hydration for athletes. And we have done this starting first with professional teams and kind of, measure the sweat rate and sweat type of professional players. And then based on the sweat rate, sweat type, develop a specific drink for each one of the players. The problem with this approach was that, in order to figure out the sweat profile of the athletes, we needed to send our scientists into the field and kind of collect sweat samples from each one of the athletes. So it was a good approach, but not very scalable. So then we started looking if anyone had any technology that will allow us to basically kind of collect these sweat samples at scale. And we come up with one company, Epicor, that had kind of an emerging technology with a sweat patch that you could apply on your arm, and basically collecting a sample of your sweat from your arm, project what will be your total sweat rate and total sweat type. So we basically partnered with them. We helped them to develop this technology. We helped them manufacture this technology. We helped them to get the right readings and kind of come up with this sweat patch that then athletes could take an image of the sweat patch using a smartphone, and then via image recognition, we are able to recognize the sweat rate and sweat type of every athlete. So the advantage here is that now we don't need to send the scientist back to the field. Every athlete could be his or her own scientist and collect this sweat sample by himself. And then you scan the patch, you connect to the GX app. On the GX app, you have your sweat profile. And then based on this sweat profile, you could start kind of learning more about your body, your training, your fueling needs, etc. So in this case, it's a clear example that we identify a problem that was to basically scale up sweat testing. We identify a technology and we explore different of them. And then once we select the technology and the startup that had this technology, we partnered with them, during plus 2 years of collaboration to bring this technology to life. And now we have the sweat patch in a beta program in the US and kind of planning to launch it commercially beginning next year. And together with the sweat patch, also we have developed the digital app that supports this sweat patch. So this is an excellent example of open innovation applied to solve one athlete problem.
Yeah, and this startup is where from?
This one is an American startup, so
Very
it's
good.
kind of, they are linking to Northwestern University in Chicago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is in general when you look at the great technologies? Are you looking to partner on I would say, revenue share, or you're looking for a option for acquisition in the future? Do you have any strategy, or this is like per case?
Yeah, case by case. I think that what we try to look is kind of exactly what we are looking for. Oh, now it works. Perfect. Yeah. So what we are looking here is kind of a case by case scenario where we could bring kind of the best of this startup, and sometimes you don't need the full company. You want kind of some specific assets, some specific products, etc., and come up with a business model that is beneficial for both parties. So typically we have done more kind of JVs, kind of collaborations specifically versus acquisitions. In the case of PepsiCo, we are a big company, and the due diligence and the process to acquire a company, it's sometimes could be very costly, very kind of a very long process. So if we could take kind of a more of a collaboration or partnership approach, we know that we could move faster.
Absolutely. Got it. Now,
yeah, and I think also one more comment, Amir, and I think that the example of the sweat patch is a great one, is that sometimes it's not only that this company not only needs the money from kind of the big brand or the big company, that we could also bring some of the knowledge gaps that are needed. So in this case, it was kind of the partnership with the Gatorade Sports Science Institute that are kind of the ones that have more experience, analyzing and measuring sweat, so that we did a lot of the work on the lab. We do it by ourselves. And also we bring into the project two innovation agencies, Smart Design and Working Co, who bring some specific capabilities, one kind of around user-centered design, smart design, and the other one about kind of digital products, Working Co, just to come up kind of with the best approach. So in this case, you have a collaboration between one innovation agency, one digital agency, one tech startup, kind of the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, our team, the sports marketing team. So it's kind of basically kind of a very complicated, kind of orchestrated effort, kind of just to bring in the best one of each one of the parties. So that's truly open innovation applied to solve athlete problems.
I like it very much. You know, Xavi, when I'm speaking to brands and when we work with brands and try to understand what they're looking for and what their challenges, whether it's about specific challenges they want to solve or opportunities they would like to create for the future, or I don't know, COVID-oriented solutions now we had in the last cycle. Most of the brands, if I look deeply in their strategy, without mentioning names, and maybe it's natural, they don't have like a clear vision of the future of where they want to put, where they want to, what they would like to create, or how the experience of athletes or fans should look like. It's more like if somebody knocks on our door and we like what they do, we exploit. Yeah, which is good. It's okay. What I'm trying to maybe bring to the conversation, not always with great success, is because we are central in a good position to talk to different stakeholders, maybe to take people like you and say, okay guys, where do we want to be in 4 years time, 5 years time? What kind of experience? I'm taking we all love football, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the real football, yeah. With all due respect to our American fans, yeah. But we are narrow-minded from Asia. What can we do? So, but if I think about the experience in 4 or 5 years time, if I take my kid to see football, I know it's going to be amazingly different. At the moment, I cannot even see replay. I know nothing. I sit in the stadium. I like a dumb. I call my friends to give me the what happened in the replay.
Absolutely.
This will change, and what we've done now, and that's I think something that what I'm trying to say is there is an opportunity to create a strategy of where we want to be.
Yeah.
In every aspect, whether it's if I talk about experience, it could be in the stadium, it could be at home. What is the exact experience we would like to create? Now, I think the same with the athlete experience, the athlete nutrition, and the anything around that. Now, the long question is, when you look at the future, do you have if I would ask you, Xavi, what will be your dream wish list? If I could give you everything, I can get you to the most amazing innovation. You'll have 3,000 solutions solving your amazing wish list. What do you have 5 amazing solutions that you can name that will be the future in 5 years time? Long question, but I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know if I will list 5. To me, I will opt in for any solutions that help athletes to be smarter on their performance, right? So we are true believers. First of all, we are about athletes, right? We are not about fans, so we center on athletes, and we are about athletes' performance, right? That start kind of funnel down what we could do. And within athletes' performance, we believe that is this combination of nutrition, of recovery and sleep, and of training. The conversion of these 3 spaces, and then all the solutions that could help athletes to basically be smarter on kind of the information about kind of their performance, their recovery, their training, that will be one area that will be interested. That's one. The other one could be, once we collect this information, to be able to provide this information back to the athlete in a very friendly, approachable way, kind of an athlete dashboard. That's 2. And then I will say 3 and 4. 3 will be the set of products in terms of sports nutrition that could help to basically Gatorade could be a one-stop shop for these athletes. I think that we have many of these products, but we don't have all of them. And last but not least, probably complement this with some kind of a at-home training program, etc. That could be a complement of what the athletes are doing by themselves. I think it's kind of, everything kind of these four pillars converge into one. It's to make athletes better, but probably I will be looking for technologies or platforms that deliver on each one of these ones. It's a long answer as well. Yeah.
It started very generic, but eventually you made it, I think, a little bit more specific.
Exactly. And I think one comment, Amir, that, and you mentioned that in your question, that I agree with you that you see many companies out there that it's super hard to understand exactly what are they doing out there, right? So it's kind of what's their role, what their purpose. Every time kind of internally and even externally with companies or brands that kind of ask for advice, I always encourage everyone to come up with kind of a clear vision and kind of where are they going. It's kind of where you imagine your brand or your business 5 years from now. That's point number one. Point number two, it's, I think, super important also to define who is your bullseye consumer. It's kind of who is kind of the perfect target for your innovation, for your products, etc. It could not be for everyone, and you could have kind of a bullseye that then you expand. But to figure out who is the consumer is absolutely key. And then once you have identified the vision and consumer, then when you talk about innovation, I think that the three questions is kind of, first is kind of athletes will be, or consumers will be interested on buying this product or acquiring this product. So kind of the desire piece. Point number two is, can we make it, right? So it's kind of the feasibility piece. It's something that we have the expertise in-house or outside to bring this platform or this product to life. And the third one that many times on the sports tech, I think it's completely ignored, and it's kind of probably the most basic one, is can we make money on that? Because if you don't have kind of a path for monetization, and it could be in many instances, sometimes could be a freemium type of product. I think that there are multiple ways to make money, but I think that you need to have a very solid business case in order to justify the effort to develop this product. So this triangle of consumer feasibility and kind of business case, I think that if you always analyze each one of your platforms or products via these three filters, you could simplify things enormously. Sometimes it's more about common sense than about fancy words. And you need to listen to others and kind of get the right expertise, etc. But the infamous elevator pitch, it's fundamental. It's kind of, you need to come up with kind of the core nuggets of the idea of the platform just to see if there is fit and if it makes sense or not.
Yeah, and you just led me to, I think, our final question for the day, a topic for the day. And if there are startups now out there listening to us, first of all, how they should contact you. You can say whether what's your favorite way for them to approach you. But if you can also give like do's and don'ts, because I know you see hundreds of startups every year. There are things that work and doesn't work. Can you share a little bit of what will be the right thing for startups to do when they pitch to you?
Yeah,
and maybe what not to do.
Yeah. So typically, in order to contact email or LinkedIn, these are kind of the usual vehicles. I think on the do's and don'ts, we typically don't look for the startups that have an idea that don't have kind of a proof of concept, right? So we need to come up with things that are already proven, are kind of already solid. Kind of don't come at me with kind of an idea that will take 3 years of development, etc. Come with something that already works. So at least with the proof of concept.
Validated product.
Yeah, that's number one. And number two, I think that, and sometimes it's hard to ask this to startups, but bring things that could be synergistic to my strategy or to my efforts, right? So there are multiple technologies out there and startups out there. But there are many of them that do not fit with the strategy that we are looking for. So that's the reason that we are trying to be very vocal on what we are looking, in order that then ideally startups approach to us with things that will make sense to us. But I think it's also a general rule for the startups when they approach companies: try to learn as much of this company as possible, and try to figure out if what you are bringing to the table could be useful for this company. And if that's the case, then present your technology, your idea, or your platform through the lens of this company. Don't tell me how great your technology is. Tell me how this technology will benefit my business strategy. And it's more kind of the sales pitch. But again, you are not looking for investors or kind of venturing funding to pitch in your company. You are looking for a big company or a big brand to partner with you. That means that you need to come up with something that it's useful for this company specifically.
Great. Anything else?
No, I think for the startups, I will say that, when you approach companies, remember your audience. And that's kind of rule number one for any pitch, right? It's kind of who is your audience and what they are looking for. Don't come up with kind of a pitch deck for a venturing fund. That's a different thing. You need to have this pitch deck to raise money, etc. But when you are talking with brands, put yourself on their shoes and kind of on the shoes of their consumers, etc., and figure out kind of what could be beneficial to them. I think that's probably, if you apply that, I think you will be in very good place.
Yeah, that's priceless. Tips for startups, and couldn't agree more. Xavi, how long are you doing this work?
I have been in Gatorade for the last 9 years. Before that, 11 years in Nike. In Gatorade, I've had different roles. So kind of at the beginning, I was managing brand design, and I've been doing innovation for the last 5 years. And now I'm lucky that kind of on transitioning into a new role that will be 100% focused on this digital transformation. So I'm excited that I'm able to reinvent myself and now work on this digital acceleration that you were asking before. So one of the consequences, in this case, directly for my job with COVID, etc., is that now we have put together a team that will be 100% focused on this digital transformation for the brand. And I will be part of this team. So super excited on that.
Yeah, I asked that because I see the spark in your eyes, and it seems like you love what you do.
Absolutely. I think that it's a great brand, kind of one of the most powerful brands in sports. And I think probably what's even more exciting is that we have a great future ahead of us, right? So it's kind of, to your point, when you have a vision, this vision is shared internally, and you could see kind of how many cool things you could develop in the future, then it's kind of when you wake up full of energy and kind of excited to do new things, right? So that's at the end what it matters. It's kind of to get out of bed and be excited on what you do.
Yeah. And to have this meaning of, the impact that we can create together, I think makes all the difference.
Absolutely. And I think in our case, I share this personally also with my team, and I think with everyone in our business. It's about making athletes better, right? So yes, we are selling products, and at the end we are not an NGO, and kind of we are looking for our shareholders, and we want kind of the PepsiCo stock to raise and have good revenues and all this jazz. But at the end, this is about making athletes better, and kind of people are training more, exercising more, etc. We believe that they need us. And that's a good thing to do. It's kind of when I see my kids training, or kind of my colleagues running and all this, all these athletes, we could help them on their choices. And that's kind of a very kind of good cause to pursue. So I think it's fantastic. We are huge sports people, and kind of we want athletes to perform at their best. That's basically what we do.
Xavi, I just want to thank you for an inspiring session. I'm sure, there will be top of great ideas coming from where you are, and I hope we can support some of the startups maybe to, so you can meet them and see some great technologies through the Hype ecosystem. And thank you very much, and looking forward to see you next time.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Amir, for the opportunity. Hope that we could collaborate in the future and kind of count on you guys kind of to identify these kind of brilliant entrepreneurs and technologies that could help our purpose and our strategy.
Thank you very much.